I don't know if I am being crazy or that something really is wrong with my older sister. She is 44, currently a professor at a small-time college for religion and other subjects adjacent to philosophy. She dates her students, or at least student age. First time she did this she was 30 and the guy was 19. This was a red flag to me, never met him, she casually brought him home to my parents one day. She now just got out of a relationship with a student who attended her class, probably aged 19 or 22. I feel like she is emotionally stunted and is eternally in the college or even high school mindset. She lives alone in an apartment that is similar to a college dorm. Doesn't really know how to take care of herself, comes to my parents to do laundry and take their food. It wasn't up until now that she decided to learn how to cook. She complains about everything, thinks she has all sorts of health problems, complains that she has heart problems and wants a monitor placed. She also got a hearing aid recently. Meanwhile, I have just gone through chemo and radiation for cancer. I was almost stage 3 because of the size of the tumor. My parents went with me to the hospital, I was sent to the emergency room from a private doctor. Long story short, she was dragged there by my parents, was impatient and kind of mean the entire time. The doctor ended up giving me a possible diagnosis in the ER, they said on the CT scan it was big enough to be cancerous and I should start preparing for what's to come. The next day my sister goes on a plane to a cabin retreat. Seemed like she didn't care much. Then proceeds to get COVID and blames me because she thinks she got COVID while she was dragged to the hospital to see me. Not because she just went on a plane to a cabin for a get-together, this was early 2022 while COVID was still going on. I basically didn't want to deal with her at this point, so I only let my parents around me during my treatment. She was mean and aggressive as a kid. During an argument she punched a glass door because she was mad at me. To this day she gets irritated and passive-aggressive over the smallest things. She used to manipulate me if she wanted something by creating games only for me to do, and then I would get in trouble. She didn't have friends at school. I remember vaguely trying to involve her in my friend group during lunch, and then she started to ask me to take candy from one of my friends because my parents were strict about eating candy. Like, I vaguely remember these things, and I know my sister never had a real moral compass. So when I see her as an adult I feel like she is still severely lacking. She had a cat who fell sick and all of us went to her apartment to take care of him. She was private about what her choices were moving forward or even his diagnosis. We didn't get a full diagnosis because she didn't want the vet to do a biopsy, so they thought he had lymphoma. She was smiling and being so weird the entire time. I got him to start eating again. He had gone blind at the same time, so when he started eating my sister picked up the food and he bit her and she started whining about it. I couldn't believe it, he's blind, he's having a hard time eating and hasn't eaten in days, and you are complaining about your finger. She put him down a few days later, without telling us. He was a family cat. I was devastated. It just was out of nowhere for me because he had started getting his appetite back. After that I could not forgive her and kind of became wary of her actions. She makes a big deal about money, is stingy AF. I make an effort to get my parents gifts. I gift them electronics every year, something big that they would not buy for themselves. She mostly spends money on herself. That's okay, but I have never seen her get anything for my parents, and she right now is probably the most comfortable financially out of all the siblings. By the way, my mother has called my sister self-absorbed, but they turn a blind eye to everything she does. She is definitely their favorite child. I think maybe there is something seriously wrong with her at this point. That is all we have of this story. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Corner Stories signing off.